Thanks for tuning in to the Woke Mommy podcast. So, last time on our first podcast, I was joined by two other Black moms, Rochelle and Carla. We started out our conversation talking about making white mom friends and ended it talking about the prejudices that we were raised with about fellow Black people. That whole don't hang around with too many Black people thing. This week, we're picking up where we left off and delving into a conversation about being comfortable in relationships, interracial dating, and identity. It's a ride. The first voice you'll hear is Rochelle's. She's on the phone. Here we go.
So my eldest is 18, and I had somebody ask me the other day, do you have a problem if he was with someone from a different culture or different race? I was like, look, what he needs to recognize is what comes with that. That's it. It's all about choices, right? Mm-hmm. But just like how we're looking for that safe space, it depends. Like, you can still find that safe space, of course, in someone from another color or another culture or whatever, but there are going to be times where their experiences are not necessarily going to meld with yours, or they're not necessarily going to understand your experience.
Yeah.
So as long as you're okay with that.
Not even just them, their families. Their family as well. I have a friend, she's going through the exact same thing. She's married to a white guy, and she said like the experience that she had just even over the weekend, but just even with her hair, how the family was just kind of like, they were just so taken aback by her hair.
Because she changed her hair?
Because she changed her hair.
And it's too black?
Really?
No, they just didn't say anything. She was just kind of like they were so taken aback by it that they didn't even say anything about it. They know that she changed her hair.
Yeah.
And they were like, she said at one point they were even trying to, I think one family member was even trying to like look in her scalp to see if it was attached to her head.
Right.
They did like they were just so fearful of saying, and they've been together almost 10 years.
Yeah.
I
was reading something where someone was talking about, I think it was a white woman married to a black guy, and because of everything that's happening in the States right now with Trump and all the race issues, he's having a hard time, right? And he's stressed about it, and she says he comes home and he's like upset about it, and it's impacting their relationship. Like, he's angry, and she doesn't know if she should just like how to support him, or should she just walk away, kind of, because he's thinking about it too much for her, and it's upsetting her, and it's impacting their
people are telling him things, and he's listening to things that are affecting his views and perceptions.
But I think that part of that is that whole awakening, right? Like, when there is a period where it's almost like you are asleep when dealing with issues of race, even as a black person, right? Like, you're just trying to survive.
I always say when people kind of look at
right?
it a certain way, I say, just because we can drink from the same water fountains, use the same washrooms, like this race thing it's not solved, it's not settled.
No, but as for me anyway, there was a point where it just gets to a point where the scales kind of fall from your eyes, and you see things as they are, and it's not this kind of rose-colored glasses, or it's not, you stop second guessing, and you just see things as they are, and that there's a burden with that, because you can't unsee it. So I can't imagine being in a relationship with a person of a different race, where I'm not able to share that experience with them. Like, I think that would be really hard.
I'm glad that's one issue I don't have. Like, I'm just, because I couldn't like just to know that whole race issue is coming into your home, your sanctuary. Yeah. That's hectic.
Well, I know someone who is married to a black guy, and I remember being at a party with her family, and her sister-in-law was pregnant at the time, and I think she was on bed rest, so she wasn't supposed to move around. So she was sitting under a tent, and I had just found out I was pregnant, and I was just tired and the whole thing. So I was sitting under the tent, and so it just happened that all of us were sitting under this tent were black. And her father, this white girl's father, came over and he's like, oh, you guys are all sitting under the tent. And he's like, it's such a nice day and you're all sitting under the tent. And then he goes, oh, I forgot you people don't like the sun. And I thought, what? Like, my husband and I just kind of looked at each other.
Just the you people is enough.
But I thought, like, are you serious? Like, your grandkids are half black. Your son-in-law is black. And come on, you know?
Yeah. And that's the thing that we were talking about earlier, that maybe his son-in-law doesn't like the sun, but it doesn't mean that all black people don't like the sun.
Right.
So that's the other thing, too. The one black person you know has these particular traits, and then you've attributed it to the entire race of people.
Yeah. But that's why I think, go ahead.
I'm not going to say, and, the offensiveness, of course, is also, the whole, you people, and, like, it's just, and I find that that's the thing, like, they try to, like, my experience is when they ask you questions or they want to know about you, they are trying to categorize or compartmentalize you. Okay, are you a black person that I see a value? Okay, you sound like you might be. Okay, so you can stay on this side of my equation for now. And then it's kind of like they just keep asking you questions until they've kind of figured out, oh, okay, you're acceptable to me.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's that idea of not being too black or not getting too black when you're with a certain crowd, right? And I'm over that now.
I think that's an ignorance that black people have, though, about
ourselves.
Not even about ourselves, about white people. Is that we kind of think that everybody, or I mean, not as in we as in everybody. I think that there are certain black people, a lot of black people that just kind of feel like, we're like, again, we can drink from the same water fountain, we can use the same washroom, so everything is okay. It's not okay.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
Yeah. But I feel like a lot of that sometimes is self-preservation. Like you go along to get along. Like you can't see like every issue because it will drive you crazy. And that's the problem with being fully awake and seeing all these issues is because like you can't sleep at night because you're like, oh my God, you're thinking about all that's wrong, right?
Right.
And I think some people just prefer to have tunnel vision and not see issues around them.
I think a lot of black people just have a fear of white people on a whole. I have another friend. She said that her brother is married to a white woman. And my friend's mom bought the little girl, because their daughter's mixed. They bought the little girl some clips and bubbles, and the brother just kind of she gave them to the brother, and the brother just kind of slid them away because he knew that his wife wasn't going to allow those clips and bubbles into their daughter's hair. They came to the party and the daughter's hair was like, the mother, my friend's mother is Trinidadian. And so the daughter's hair was a little, disheveled. And so my friend's mother, the grandmother was like, put her hair in plaits, in big plaits. And she said that during the party, she could see her brother trying to undo the plaits out of the little girl's hair.
Well, he's got some deep issues there.
I have a sister who's mixed, and I remember when she was younger, and she'd come and visit, and I would do her hair, and I went and bought her hair stuff, and sent it home with her, and her mother would send it back. And she doesn't need this. I'm like, this pygmy's head is dry. Of course she needs it. Like she needs moisture in her hair. Yeah. And, and she'd send it back every single time. And I remember one time I went to her house to visit with her, and she said that she was going to be moving into Toronto. So at the time she had lived in Peel. This was many years ago, like my sister's in her 20s now. And she said she's moving into Toronto. And I said, oh, why? And she said, well, because I'd like her to be around people more like her. And I was like, yeah, but you're in Brampton. Like, you're in a good place. Like, Brampton, yeah, you're fine. She goes, no, like her. And I was like, I don't understand what you mean. Like, she's black, and there's black people in Brampton. So, like, what's the problem? No, she's mixed. And I was like, okay, all right, well, if that's how you feel. And so she moved into Toronto because she wanted her to be around kids who were mixed as opposed to just black.
Wow.
you know, and thought that by taking her to Caravana and, you know, making her the occasional jerk chicken, that it was like, okay, she is immersed in Black culture. And what ended up happening is that as my sister got older, you know, she's now reaching out to her siblings like, Kenny, to get my hair done, and I don't even know where to go. Like, you know? And so it all comes back full circle anyway.
That's, yeah.
You know, and now she's just finished her master's, and part of her master's was about, you know, so she's in fine arts, but it was just about the theater world and how being someone of mixed race and what that's like. And, you know, it was very interesting how all these issues of race that I think her mother was trying to avoid ended up all coming back to roost.
Oh, yeah. And they will, because
being at the forefront of her life, right?
Yeah. How does she identify?
That's hard to say. I think if you were to ask her, she'd say she's mixed, like she's biracial. But I think she recognizes that she is seen as Black.
Yeah, I always find it interesting.
My daughter would say. I've never asked her what she thinks. I think my daughter thinks that she's just. I mean, obviously, like she knows she's mixed, but she's around. I mean, our Jamaican side 99% of the time, and so I think she just thinks. I mean, she goes to Jamaica. She's been to Jamaica more times than I have, and I think she just thinks that she is Black. Like I think I don't think she really acknowledges her white side. I mean, she sees her dad, but when she comes back from seeing them, she always has these horror stories of, you know, these like, you know, this chicken going in the microwave, this raw chicken being cooked in the microwave, and you know what I mean, putting maple syrup and chili, and she just comes up with all these horror stories. She's like, Mama, ew. So I think she thinks that I think she more identifies as Black. She likes the gold, the same like the gold clips in her hair, and I think she just identifies as Black.
Yeah.
I always think it's interesting, like how people identify, and I find also sometimes with particularly white moms who have Black children, but who have mixed race kids, there is this kind of effort to distance themselves from the Black side, which I just don't understand. Like, I don't get it. Like, why do you, if you go into it knowing like your partner's Black, so your child is half Black, and you may not see them. I also think
too, when she's there, they make my daughter feel uncomfortable. I don't know exactly what happens, but I feel like when she is there, I think they do and say things that make her feel uncomfortable as to why she doesn't really like going over there, because it's not me. I met him when I was about 17, 18. I've come to accept that, you know what I mean, she has this white father, but I feel like they do stuff when she's there, they say stuff when she's there, and it makes her uncomfortable. Why she doesn't want to engage with them, because it's not me saying, you know, oh, don't talk to those white people. At the end of the day,
that's her family.
That's her family. But
Exactly.
I think they do. And so I think one time she was there, and his sister said to her in front of everybody, you know, oh, you stink, or something like that, or you smell.
Whoa.
In front of people. Yeah. Like, there was a whole bunch of, like, you know, other cousins and other people there, and she just wasn't.
She's not comfortable.
No, she's just not comfortable there, and I think they do it because I don't know if it's partly because they just don't like me, but I think they do it because she's part Black.
Yeah, and I think you also, you know, you can't. I think that when you have a Black family member, especially when you weren't expecting it, I think it can be challenging. Like, I know with my sister, she is a lot more comfortable. And again, her mother raised her and socialized her, right? So I think it does depend on who your parents is and where they are.
I'm the one raising and socializing her. Yeah.
You know, so even this weekend we had this thing at my brother's, and she was at the cottage with her mom, you know, and my dad was like, she's always at the cottage. And I'm like, yeah, but she has that life. You know what I mean? Like, she has she has what we would say a white life. You know what I mean? Like what I see here where I live, where everybody disappears on the weekend because they got their cottage, and they're trying every moment to go to the cottage. And there's nothing wrong with having a cottage.
Let's just put that out there.
Yeah, let's just put that out there. But it really isn't. For the most part of our lived experience, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember being in high school, and it was a big joke because we ran into a friend. So my friend Jennifer and I were going to, we went to the CNE, and we were like about 16 or 17, and we ran into this girl who went to our high school, and I went to a majority white all-girls high school, and you know, she's like, "Well, how's your summer?" And we, you know, and she's like, "I went to the cottage," and my friend Jennifer says, "Oh, well, my cottage burnt down," and I was like laughing hysterically, and the girl was like, "Oh my goodness, that's devastating. How long has it been in your family?" And it was this whole spiel, and we were just like, "I cannot believe." For us, we were just like, you know, and she's like, "Oh yeah, my cottage burnt down," and I was like, "You need to stop it right now." And I knew exactly that she was joking. One, because I knew she didn't have a cottage, but also it just really shows the dichotomy of our lives, where this girl is like devastated for my friend that her cottage burnt down, her family heirloom, and here we are like, we don't have no damn cottage. So I just think that, you know, like I know that she does struggle. I know that my sister does struggle, because she's got this. She's raised in a certain identity, but she doesn't match.
Exactly.
And I think when she's now in that world, because that's the world that she affiliates herself with, I think that she probably has more instances of overt racism than we would, because we don't. While we might work in the world, and while we might, you know, we might have some friends, and we might dip our toe in it occasionally by going to a barbecue here and there. It's not our lived experience, right? Like, it's not. Yeah.
And we can choose to kind of distance ourselves or remove ourselves from that experience, whereas she doesn't have that choice.
And that is, I think, why I can see there are times where she struggles, and I can even see when she's around us, like her Black family, that there are moments where she doesn't identify because of what her experience has been.
Yeah. I think also my daughter has majority white. Like my daughter has a majority of white friends at school, and now I'm looking at it. I think it's because she's been what was the word? Like she's been socialized as Black. Like if you ask her if you ask her like about Jamaica and Jamaican stuff and all kinds of Jamaican food, she'll name it like nothing. But I don't think the Black kids accept her, even though she's, you know, they're still like, well, you know, you're still not fully Black. You still have white in you.
Yeah.
Because she seems to have a lot of white friends.
A lot of that too, for sure. I find that it really comes together in high school.
Okay.
I find so. Check back with me at high school, and I'd be curious to see because even with myself, but even when I've seen my son, my daughter, like the majority of their friends are white. Like, so don't get me wrong. And like we've made some pretty good friends here, so it's not that. It's not at all. But I did find that when my son went to high school, he all of a sudden was more immersed. It was less about, hey, we all bleed red on the inside. And it was more about, let me find my tribe.
They do find their. There was a study, I can't remember where I saw it, but they were talking. Were talking about that exact thing, about how in elementary school, if you go to the playground, all the kids kind of play together, but once you get to high school, they do segregate. Like all the kind of Black kids are over here, and so it'll be interesting to see what happens, I guess, as she gets a bit older.
Yeah, because I was really kind of looking into it.
Sorry, go ahead.
You know, I was really looking at like because a majority of her friends that she talks about, or she'll play with like one or two people, but like they're white kids, and I'm kind of waiting for the day where she has like, you know, she comes and says, hey, I have like, you know, a Black friend. Actually, just yesterday she went over. She apparently she has a friend, and now a one Black friend at school, and she went over to her house for Thanksgiving dinner, and I was kind of like, yay, you have a Black friend, yay.
Well, the one thing I had to say to my daughter, though, so again, that Black family came in, we're like, yay, but I also had to say to my daughter, hey, like, if she's not your people, like, if you don't feel like you're vibing, it's okay, because I think part of her, she felt like, I have to be friends with this girl.
Right.
And I was like,
I wonder if she felt that too. Because she doesn't have a lot of Black friends. I wonder if this one Black, because I think she's new to the school. So I wonder if this one Black girl kind of came along and she was like, hey, there's somebody Black for me to talk to. Because she doesn't talk to many Black people.
And I think, so my daughter, instantly it was like she felt it was her responsibility to help her navigate through the new neighborhood and all that.
Interesting.
But as she's getting to know her, she's like, oh, we're different in certain aspects. We're the same in certain aspects, but we're different in certain aspects. And I had to say to her, you know what, like, first of all, your friends aren't going to be your cookie cutter, you're not going to all be the same people.
Yeah.
But it's also okay if you kind of drift apart from this person, or if you figure out, like, if they're not, so again, it's more about character, right?
Yeah.
So if you find that this person isn't of the character that you like, or that you want to affiliate yourself with, it's okay to not be friends with this person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I didn't want her to get the wrong messaging. I think at one point, we were like, hey, there's Black people. You need to now be this person.
Yeah.
And so then I had to kind of reel it back and go, oh, but remember, somebody's character and their values are really, really important. So you want to make sure that they match you and that you feel that synergy with that person. And if you don't, it's okay not to be friends with them,
Yeah. You don't want anybody straying your kids off either,
that's right?
You don't want anybody straying your kids. And my daughter has this idea in her mind, she's going to be a lawyer, and move hell or high water, she's going to be a lawyer. And I don't want anybody,
interfering with
that.
For sure.
Exactly. Yeah. So while it's important to certainly find Black friends, because there is value in that.
Yeah.
At the same time, you also need to find people that match your
exactly. And it's funny because the one friend that she does have at school, the Italian friend, the mother is a lawyer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's perfect.
And so what I found with my son is he went to high school now, and all of a sudden we're now, because we get bussed out from where we are because we don't have a high school in our town. So he got bussed out, and all of a sudden it's like Black people, woohoo! So
he doesn't know where to look.
He was just like, hi, Black person, and meeting all these Black people. But then at the same time, there were things that still influenced who was his friend and who wasn't. So he's in academic courses and some were not. And so that influenced it to a certain degree too, because if I'm on my way to university and I'm taking all academic courses, and he's a microbiology major, so like he's taking sciences, all that, clearly he's going to resonate with people who are also science-minded kind of thing. Yeah. But so there are certain things that still influenced who he spoke with, but at the same time, that's where I found, like I said, he found his tribe. He found the theater kids. He found the science kids, the sports kids, and those became his friends. And so they were still very diverse, way more diverse than when he was in elementary school. But again, it allowed him to have Black friends. And then now that he's in university, I saw the same thing happen again. It was like, hi, Black people, and then now he's in university and he's got more Black friends, but then he also has, he's got white friends, he's got all sorts of friends from all over the place. But again, it's about finding, I think that even for him, those Black friends are those people that you can be comfortable with.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the way it should be.
Those people where it's like, I heard there's a Jamaican place. Let's go find that food and go see if it's nice. You know what I mean? Like, so it's that. So he's starting to find that he's found some. And even as parents, like what happened was when I said, oh, my son's gone away to school, I put it on Facebook, and somebody reached out to me and said, hey, I know a few people whose kids are going there. Do you want to connect? And it was, I know some Black people whose kids are going there too. That was essentially the message. And I was like, yes, for sure. So even as parents, we have connected. Yeah. And the kids have connected because we know what that's like,
Exactly. Like we were saying, our whole, kind of, or I guess, my parents' generation, or not even my parents, my grandparents. I was raised with my grandparents, and that whole generation of don't talk to too many Black people.
Yeah,
so it's not necessarily about we just want our kids to hang around with Black people, and you know what I mean. It's like you want them to be around other people, but be around their people also, because you don't want that like you said that glass wall.
Yeah.
That I think that I feel like I grew up with other Black people.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for shattering that glass wall today. I think we had a great discussion.
I know, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that we were able to shatter that glass wall. 3 moms just sitting in a room chatting about life and race and everything in between. Don't forget to subscribe to get updates and automatic downloads of new podcasts once they're uploaded. Please log into the Play Store or iTunes and like and rate the podcast so I know how we're doing. You can also follow the Woke Mommy Chatter blog at www.wokemommychatter.com, on Twitter at Woke Mommy, on Instagram, and follow along with our conversation on Facebook as well at Woke Mommy Chatter. If you'd like to get in touch, have feedback for shows, drop me a line at wokemommychatter@gmail.com.